Dear colleagues, Director Kovacevic, Deputy Director Boras, ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to have the opportunity to say a few words at the beginning of the open session of the 18th meeting of the Central and Eastern European Data Protection Authorities. I'm sorry I cannot be with you in person due to pressing commitments in Brussels. I'm sure you understand, because this is an extremely busy time for all of us working in the area of data protection. Busy but also exciting. This conference does not need to be reminded about what an historic moment this is for digital rights in Europe and around the world. May 2016 is the month that the EU's new General Data Protection Regulation, together with the new directive on data protection in the police and justice sectors, enters into force. These new instruments update the rulebook for personal data handling in the digital age. Now the EU is turning to the modernization of the rules on safeguarding the confidentiality of communications. The European Commission is consulting on the reform of the Directive on Privacy in Electronic Communications, the Directive 2002/58/EC, and it is expected to publish its proposals before the end of the year. Even more relevant for this conference is the modernization of Council of Europe Convention 108. In June, the Council of Europe's ad hoc committee on data protection will meet to put the finishing touches to the modernized convention. And my institution has been active in supporting this process, and together with other colleagues in the EU, we have stressed consistently the need for coherence between the convention and the new EU rules. We must have consistency because information flows are now truly global, and individuals and companies demand clarity and coherence in the way rules are applied. One thing is clear: we all want to put the individual back at the heart of big data. It is not only Europe's lawmakers who are renewing the protection of human rights amidst rapid data-driven technological change. Lundberg judgments from the European Court of Human Rights and the Court of Justice of the European Union in the past 12 months have struck blows on behalf of the individual. Rulings on Schrems, Sakharov and Szabo, European judges have reiterated the incompatibility with fundamental rights and freedoms of mass surveillance without a basis in law or justification, whether directly by state actors or through accessing data held by private companies. Personal information, whether it's part of big data analytics or generated by connected devices, is intimately bound up with what is meant to be human. People expect to have much more control over what happens to this information and expect companies and governments to consider their interests before making decisions about its collection, use and retention. Europe should be justly proud of its record in championing the individual and their rights and interests offline and online. The work of modernization of the legal frameworks applying to all who process information in Europe or affecting Europeans is well underway, but needs to be transformed into genuine accountability of business and public authorities and empowerment of individuals. Your role as independent supervisor is more important than ever. I see from your excellent program that you are going to address many of the most urgent issues: video surveillance, drones, privacy in the workplace, collection and use of biometric data. My priority as the head of an EU data protection authority is to lead by example. And in terms of accountability in how we supervise, this is in terms of excellence in giving policy advice, in terms of being conversant with new technologies. And that is why I've launched a new initiative to consider in depth the ethical implications of technologies and how DPAs must incorporate ethics into how we carry out our tasks. You are a sparkling community of brilliant colleagues. I had the honor to cooperate with you, to meet with some of you, even within twinning projects. And I would really like to have a chance to attend your next conference, the 19th edition. We have a lot to learn from one another. I look forward very much to receiving reports on your discussions, and I would like also to reiterate my invitation to each of you to visit EDPS in Brussels so that we can continue our dialogue. We'd like to really thank you for your attention and give you my best wishes for a most productive and fruitful event. Have a nice day.